all understand what I'm saying.
Because there's no logical...
Because
you're
I haven't
right.
really
No, there's
people.
not a single logical reason why he would ever do it. He's the worst coach in the world. Wrong decision.
Correct.
Move on. Yep, correct.
Correct.
That's a correct decision.
Correct.
Yes. There's only one
He's an idiot.
option. There's one decision.
Good evening, degenerates, and welcome back to another episode of
Super Bowl week!
No,
It's not
Super Bowl week.
Thanks
It's
for
not
the
Super Bowl
screen,
week.
Matt.
Yeah.
Can we just edit
Pro
that?
Bowl week!
We might have changed locations,
If you could
but
tell.
nothing changes with Mike.
2.0.
If you weren't able to tell, we
Donut.
just moved. Go.
It's your
Go
show.
ahead. Go ahead.
Address the public.
Ow.
This is so annoying. I can't get through
Address
anything.
the public.
I can't get through anything.
Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead.
No, I want to
Do the
Let
intro.
him eat, Mike.
No,
Do the intro.
I want to hear what you have to say.
Go.
I want to hear
Throw
what
up the intro. We're
Let me, Mike.
next segment. Go. Well, I tried to get through the intro,
But he didn't!
Let's give you the whole show, baby.
Nah, keep it going.
as I was gonna say, we moved into a new studio. This is a completely different house, completely different room. We have an entire Degen Hour studio you guys will be seeing a lot more of. We're going to be setting up things for different live streams, different forms of content. We're going to be filming a lot more vlog-style videos. It's going to be very cool. We're very excited. The only reason we were able to pay for this is that we went to Vegas every week of the playoffs and put $100,000 against every one of Michael's picks.
Well,
Bang, 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 bang.
Michael has hit 2 games in the last 2 weeks.
Fetch, bro.
You were 1-3 last week, and then you had a live bet with me, and you also lost that.
yeah, thank you.
Quick pivot now into how we did last week.
I
First
didn't
off,
do
thanks
well.
for paying for the studio.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it. Hey,
Everyone appreciates
Yeah, we
the
appreciate
service
it.
that you do, giving out losers on a consistent basis. But
If you're going to be bad, be the worst.
how did you feel about your performance this week and the playoffs so far?
Well, let's start with the most devastating one, in my opinion, was the Chiefs and the Ravens over, which,
That was pretty close.
wow.
Yeah.
That started really hot and, like, firing out the gates, and then it just died. And then I feel like everything after that was just dead. So, just the momentum of it all.
Yeah, no, it was close.
Big momentum guy.
It was close to an over.
But that was my only
total
win
was
also.
44.5, ended at 27.
Yeah, but that was also my only win was in that game because I got Patrick Mahomes. And
I remember last week on the pod,
Smart.
if we wanted to throw it up, you said that this would be 59 points scored in this game. That would be, I think it was, you said like 6 points above the total of 44.5.
So,
Give us a number.
exact score bet, Ravens 31, Chiefs 28. I think they win in OT. Well, you know what's funny is that it was on track in the first quarter, but then it went
Actually, it
off
was.
track.
You only missed by like 30 points?
Like I said, it was on track and then it went off track.
Okay.
Got
And then the
derailed.
rest of the bets, those were just shit happens.
Well, it was bad momentum.
Bad momentum.
Bad momentum.
A lot of
Bad
momentum.
Out the
going around.
gate, you really
Speaking
got
of
hot.
bad momentum, I mean, going along with if you're bad, be the worst. Mario,
Yeah.
0-4.
Sharp.
0-4. You didn't
Yeah.
hit
It's worse than me.
a side or a total.
No.
This happens when you switch on Mahomes. Everything.
That's what happens when you switch on Mahomes.
Everything fell. so
Yeah,
you switch
everything
on
fell.
Mahomes.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't have much to say.
I was gonna say-
I was just wrong on everything.
Yeah, I mean,
happens.
you liked the over. I mean, everyone pretty much liked the over in the Chiefs game.
I was loving it for the first 8 minutes.
What you? I
And
mean,
then-
we're gonna talk about
yeah.
the games in particular, but I mean, having the Ravens, I had the Ravens as well.
Yeah.
It was just you never felt good about that pick. Like as soon as the game kicked off, you were just like, oh shit.
Yeah, the night before, when I was with some friends, and some people were asking me about my picks.
Yeah.
And I had switched by then. But I already gave out the pick on the pod. But I told it. I was telling them.
corrected yourself
I
after.
actually love the Chiefs in this spot. And yeah, the only one I just was completely wrong was the 49ers. That one was.
Yeah.
I thought they would roll, and it was.
Yeah.
They did not roll.
That was brutal. I mean,
That was-
like I said, we're going to talk about
Yeah.
the games in a second. I finally had a good week in the playoffs.
Yeah, there we go.
I had
There we
only
go.
hit like 2 sides through the first 2 weeks, and I went 3-1 this week.
There you go.
Only loss was the Ravens, but I mean, my total is absolutely murdered.
Yeah, it was
I said
over.
the under easy and then the over big. Those were both my biggest sides of those games, and those both came to fruition
Crushed
pretty
them,
easily.
yeah.
And I had the alt under of the Chiefs Ravens game at 38.5.
Bink.
That's
Yeah, plus
Wild.
185. So that was
Sharp.
pretty sweet. And I hit Michael's live bet with it. So it was a good week.
Yeah, very proud.
I had a great
Yeah.
week.
Proud.
I had a great week. Ryan did not have a great week. 1-3.
Yeah, it wasn't great. I mean, while I was stating the over-unders, I said I didn't feel comfortable about them. I just like the sides. The Niners, I mean, it looked worse on paper than it was. I heavily bet the Niners money line.
I know. I called you on the
Yeah,
phone.
I called them at plus 165. Then I got it there, and then felt bad when it went to plus 310. So I had to get it again, obviously. You know?
dollar cost average down.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Dug myself out of the hole and got back pretty easily. So it looked better, but we gotta be better. I mean, we can't be
So
winning.
the bankroll was better than
Yes,
what the record
way
was
better,
like.
way
Yeah.
better, way better.
Tate, good week. I mean,
yeah.
3 and
Great
1.
week, yeah.
Me and you both, the
you
only
guys.
above 500. 3 and
Yep,
1. Give me
for
some.
sure.
Yeah,
There we
kid.
go.
For sure.
You had, I think your only loss was the over in the Chiefs game, right?
Yeah, over in the Chiefs game. Yeah.
So you hit both sides.
Yeah, both sides and a total in the which I flopped on
Yeah,
at the very end of the 49ers, talking about the 49ers game. So
sharp flop.
You almost did the clean sweep there.
Almost.
no. It was the 49ers game I
Oh,
flopped.
so the
He
one
got
you
me a
missed.
win.
Oh, you
He
almost
gave me an
you almost
extra
were
win.
2 and 2.
Yeah, almost a 2 and 2.
Really
Now I'm
got
3
me.
and 1.
Oh, good thing you
Sharp.
didn't do that.
was sharp.
Well, yeah,
Decisions.
those were the records. Playoffs so far, we haven't been great.
No.
Overall,
No.
haven't
Yeah,
been great.
definitely been
No.
terrible as a group.
Which is kind of funny given that like the Super Bowl is the Chiefs and the 49ers. Like, you know,
Why
like
is that
Yeah.
fine?
well,
Well,
the
the Ni- the
49ers
wor-
were the best team in the NFC.
But the
all
Niners
year.
haven't covered a single spread. That's the word. Chiefs have, the
I
Niners
know.
haven't. That's the weirdest part.
Well, it's just weird. Yeah, the Chiefs getting. I mean, we're gonna talk about it right now.
Yeah,
But
we'll
the
talk
Chiefs,
about
the
it.
Chiefs being in the Super Bowl after me fading them every week starting week
Oh.
1, just that
Oh.
hurts.
I mean,
That hurts a little bit. That hurts the soul. But yeah, without further
Universal
ado, let's talk championship weekend football.
Bang.
Championship weekend came and went. We have our Super Bowl matchup finally. Chiefs 49ers. I mean, that's an insane matchup to begin with, but
Yeah.
let's talk about how they got there. First game of the weekend, Chiefs at Ravens. Chiefs were underdogs again. They keep making these guys
Never
underdogs.
learned.
Free-
Well,
free
Mahomes
money.
on the road,
It's
they
not
just
these
don't-
guys, it's just
they
Mahomes.
weren't believers.
No, neither was I. I've bet against Mahomes, like I said, every
Yeah,
single
every
week
That's
on the spread.
crazy.
Every
That
single
is
week.
wild.
It's actually
That is
crazy.
wild.
Never hit one of them. I thought the Ravens were for real. I thought they were for real. I mean, there are plenty of. I want to hear what you guys say because I have a lot of thoughts on this game. I think the Ravens were kind of shown as not as good as people thought they were, but I also think there was a couple plays that really, really changed the outcome of the game. That
Oh, yeah,
the
the
score might have
fumbles
looked a lot
were-
different. So,
Shout out
Tate,
Zay
tell me
Flowers.
what you saw in this matchup. I know you had the Chiefs, so this probably wasn't that big of a surprise to you.
No, I mean, it definitely didn't seem like much of a surprise to me. I mean, obviously, Patrick Mahomes is the best player in football.
Yeah.
It's hard to put your money right against him. I mean, that's kind of tough to begin with. But
Oh, yeah.
I really think the genius is the fact that the combo between Mahomes and Andy Reid is the coaching, and then the best player in football is just it's so lethal. And then not to mention
Yeah.
the fact that Travis Kelce just said, you know what, I'm just going to wait until the playoffs and then I'll show up.
Yeah, it's a pretty good strategy if
Yeah,
you
I mean,
know
it's
you're
a
going to
great
be in the
strategy.
playoffs.
Yep.
So
Like, if you don't need to play the regular season at all, why? Like, you're just hanging
mean-
out, just banging Taylor Swift, just
yeah.
chilling.
Not getting injured
I mean,
and getting
W's.
paid.
Yeah.
6 is off and on the field. I love it.
I mean, not to mention that would have been a much
Bang.
closer game, right? If the Ravens had scored that touchdown, but the defense for the
Yeah.
Chiefs has been doing what they've been doing all year long. They've been coming in clutch for that team.
Well, yeah, okay, let's talk about it since you brought it up. I mean, the score was 17-10.
Yeah,
The elephant in the room, obviously, was that the Ravens
Were
had
on
a
the
touchdown.
two-
Essentially, nothing would have changed about like the clock or the Chiefs got the ball if it was Zay Flowers crossed the end zone for 7 or if it was a touchback and the Chiefs just get it on the 40. So it's just essentially like that one play was just a 7-point deduction from the Ravens score. That would have tied it up. I mean, we know Lamar in the red zone threw into triple coverage. If that game
that
was
was
if that game was
Yeah, it was
tighter,
bad. It was
maybe he doesn't do that. They're in field goal range.
Isaiah Likely.
I know. I mean, that was
Whoa.
that was a weird play. I don't
mind
I don't know.
it.
I mean, I guess there's not a lot of receivers that you would kind of trust, but it was weird. It was weird. Isaiah Likely threw up his hand, double covered,
Yeah, he,
and
he
then the
wanted to
safety
smoke.
came
Yes.
flying across, and it was like, dude, why are you throwing up your hand?
I think those receivers
Yeah.
had somewhat false confidence because I mean you saw
Yeah.
on the Zay Flowers play like he was talking mad shit and got the 15-yard penalty when he got him down there.
I mean, if
and
you're
then fumbled after the same guy was Snead or something, right? That like
if you're
stripped him.
if
after.
you're
Yeah.
Lamar and you're standing there, and your receiver goes, "Oh, I'm open," you're like, "Oh, he must have a step on him." Like,
or
there's
just
some-
look at the 3 defenders.
Yeah.
I mean, split
a little bit.
split
both.
second
A little
decision.
bit both.
Your
You see
receiver
the
throws a
hand
hand
up.
up, you're like, "Oh, I gotta trust my receiver."
Normally, that's a throw every day of the week.
Well, I feel the way I feel about this game, the Chiefs didn't impress me.
every week.
No, I said it every
Every
week, but I'm dead
single week.
serious.
The Jerry
I, like,
Sneeds it.
This still wasn't. Yeah, this still wasn't a game. I mean, I'm gonna say this every week, and they're gonna just win the Super Bowl, and I'm gonna be unimpressed.
That's
But
crazy.
nothing about this game impressed me. I mean, the Ravens essentially, that one play, just the fumble with 1 inch, is 7 points. They were in the red zone. They could have, if they weren't down 7, they could have kicked a field goal. They could have gone up 3. I mean, the Chiefs' offense didn't look good at all. Mahomes under passing yards. What did they run for? Isaiah Pacheco, 24 carries for 68 yards. Like, that's not impressive. Travis Kelce is the only one on the Chiefs who had over 50 receiving yards. I mean, I don't know. Is their defense just that good?
No.
Well, I was
Top
just
3
about to
defense.
ask you.
It's
Wait.
the first year he has a top 3 defense.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh,
Is it
yeah.
like,
Well, yeah.
did that impress anyone? I don't know. Is anyone looking at this Chiefs team like, wow, that was
I was-
impressive?
That's what I'm
I
saying.
was
It's
impressed
by from
by-
a coaching standpoint.
I was impressed by Mahomes specifically.
Really?
He's perfect.
Yeah. No, I mean he did exactly what he had to do. Like he doesn't have to go for stats. He even talked about that after the game. It's not about stats, it's about winning the game. And if your defense is playing that good, your job is just to manage the game. Like have long drives, just
Yeah.
get your
The
get your
Chiefs had the
team
ball for a long time.
in scoring positions.
Kills a lot of
As long
clock.
as you're just ahead of the other team, that's all you need to do. You know what I mean? And just keep the ball away from the Ravens. I mean, their first drive was like what, a 9-minute drive or 8 minute
second drive.
or second
Yeah.
drive. I mean,
Both
They-
back-to-back drives.
yeah.
Went right down the field. 14 points in the first quarter.
But they like it wasn't quick. Like
No,
it's long,
75
methodical
yards.
drives. Like he's not going for the deep. You know, like he doesn't have Tyreek, so they don't really
Yeah, I
have
mean-
a deep threat. But like he's just picking them apart, taking what they give him, and it's,
Maybe that's the way to beat the Ravens, I guess.
It's like
Because
excellent game management.
they definitely had the Ravens in neutral. You were impressed by the Chiefs. Was it Mahomes as well?
Oh, I was so impressed. I mean, the game script, if the Ravens wanted to continue to push the Chiefs, Mahomes would have just dialed them up like he did the first 2 drives. I think they sat there and said, why risk a turnover? Why risk
yeah.
or someone fumbling, something crazy going
Keep the
on,
ball.
a flag?
Yeah.
Just, we have the lead. We haven't been down once this game.
Just win the game.
Let's just wait till Lamar. I'm comfortable with knowing Mahomes can do when he needs to.
Yeah.
Lamar, do it. Tie the game.
Well,
Up 14-7.
And
do
the
it.
defense
I
is
think
playing
that
so
was,
good.
I think that was the mistake the Ravens made. The Ravens are not a drop back and pass team.
No, yeah,
That's
they
not
messed
what they
up.
are.
They were the
You know how
number
many?
one
Change
Anyone
their
know how
play
many
style.
carries running backs had for the Ravens?
Six.
5 or-
6
yeah.
carries the entire game.
Wow.
No, I mean they
The best running team
they
in
turned
football.
away from their identity. Yeah.
They no,
Yeah.
they didn't
And I
even.
think it's because the way Chiefs
the
started.
Chiefs started so
14
hot,
points in 8 minutes and going down on your first 2 drives. No,
and then they were
1/3
always
down.
down the entire game, and it just
Yeah.
got the Ravens to kind
got
of
them all
It just
break
didn't-
away
no,
from their.
I agree. I just think that's terrible coaching. Like the worst gameplay
Yeah.
call. Like you're never going to win. You're Lamar Jackson's the MVP for one reason. You have a game script. You follow it. He makes unbelievable plays in broken situations. He's not the snap. Like he threw 37 passes. He's not the deep shotgun, sit in the pocket and just like dice you, like pick apart Joe Burrow style quarterback.
yeah.
He is not that at all. And they tried to make him do that in the biggest game this Ravens team has ever played.
That
I mean,
was
for
surprising.
Lamar Jackson,
Yeah.
this is the biggest game they've
Yeah.
ever played.
Yeah.
At home. And all they have, like they ran the ball 6 times running backs. When I saw that, this is why nothing on the Chiefs stood out to me. I mean, their defense has been great all year. But I think the Ravens just blew it. I mean, they don't fumble in the end zone, and they just play semi-decent, normal game script, run the ball 10, 15 more times than they did, and just kick a field goal. I mean, I think they win the game, but
So
Michael making that bet, by the way, for Patrick Mahomes over his passing
oh
yards.
yeah, so close. 14 yards off.
Patrick Mahomes never once in his career has thrown for 30 completions and not thrown over 250 yards.
That's
No,
insane.
it was like a game script. It was
Like
a
it
game
was
script
just
game.
like it was just
Yeah,
crazy.
sick.
I mean, you tell me he threw the ball 30 times.
yeah,
and he got
39
241 yards.
The
That's-
overwhelming majority of those times he had 30 or more completions were way over 300
Yeah,
yards.
It was
I
that
think-
first quarter. The first quarter.
was just-
No, the first quarter
Crazy.
was
Just
electric,
like,
but
he was
then
right here all game. Just
for me
ding
though,
dong.
I thought Lamar could have ran the ball himself
way more.
way more.
way more.
He had 8
I
carries.
think he kept trying to.
That's nothing.
I get something about the Chiefs, and I think this actually goes to just good coaching by the Chiefs, because every team they've played so far, the Dolphins, Bills, and Ravens, they've made the other team uncomfortable and have to break away from their game script.
I'll say, yeah,
and
I
that's,
agree with that.
And that's, I don't think that's a coincidence. Like that's something they're doing.
And the only team that was able to do is
it's-
the Bills. The Bills
and
were-
It's the coaching,
Yeah.
dude. They're
No,
just-
it's the coaching. They're-
It's finally like you're not watching the players and saying, "Wow, they just way outplayed them." No, they outcoached them.
Yeah, I agree with
They
that. I
outcoached
think
them, but Lamar for me just has to. In a championship game, it's kind of like do whatever it takes. And for me, I saw him hold on to the ball too much, trying to make like a perfect pass. Like, dude, there were times where like he would roll out, and I'm like, dude, just run for 6 yards.
Yeah.
Like you don't need to pass it for 15. And
Yeah.
like But again, that is the whole thing of like Chiefs started out on fire, you're down,
Yeah.
and you just
They're
try
on their
to
head.
you're
I mean-
trying to make plays instead of just taking what
Lamar
they give you.
Lamar was MVP of the regular season, but again,
Yeah.
this goes to how playoff football is such a different thing.
Such a
he
different,
was
it's
so-
a different sport.
He was
pretty much.
unbelievably underwhelming for me. He completed 20 of 37. That's
That's terrible.
miserable.
Yeah.
1 touchdown, 1 pick. Like that.
Yeah.
I don't know. Nothing about the way he played was impressive at all. So, I mean, the Chiefs roll into another Super Bowl. Mahomes, what is that? 4 of his
4 out of 6 starting
Yeah, it's
seasons.
crazy.
Unbelievable.
That's crazy.
I mean,
Catching my goat case.
yeah, you did
Coming
say
up
you
for
think
it.
he's the GOAT
Yeah,
already,
100%.
and you will be no matter
He
what.
will be the GOAT.
I have a hard protest against that, but
That's
I
fair.
mean, he keeps it up. You know,
You can't really.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
Next game. I mean, 49ers Lions game was the game of the day. That
That game was
what
electric.
a football
Oh,
game.
God, I love
the
the
Lions came out and just stomped on them
Yeah,
to
they were
start.
coming out hot.
That offense, I was looking at it, I was like, dude, this is the best offense in football. Like they've scored on everyone they played this year. Every single person.
yeah.
Jameer Gibbs, well, just like when they get him in
He's
space,
Alvin Kamara, dude.
is
Like,
unbelievable. He's electric.
Get rid of Montgomery.
He's so
Gibbs,
good.
crazy.
Yeah, Montgomery even had a pretty good game.
He had a
He
good
did.
first
He had-
half.
He had a
Still.
great game.
And I mean,
First
Goff,
half, they were
Goff played fine too. The Lions played a very good game.
yeah, they did.
And
First half reminded me of the Cowboys-Packers game from a few weeks ago. Like how
Oh,
they were
shit.
just running away. Like
yeah. No, it felt weird because, I mean, what was it? 24-7 at half.
24/7 and a half.
And it just still never felt comfy.
I loved it.
Like, for me, I was saying, I didn't bet the 49ers live because I was like, oh, wow, okay, like, this Lions team not only is playing great offense, but their defense looks so good. I mean, the 49ers weren't really able to do anything on them. Purdy would look flustered, but back-to-back weeks now, Brock Purdy has seen pretty significant deficits to start the game and led in very
Especially
impressive
Comes
comebacks.
out the tunnel.
Played
Yeah.
near flawless second
like-
halves.
Yep.
I mean that play that it bounced off Vildor's helmet and Ayuk caught it. If that was an interception, that game's over.
It was PI anyways. Though.
But if it's not like and it ended up being a catch or whatever,
Yeah.
after that play, since Brock Purdy did not throw an interception, he played outstanding the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Like he was running like all over
Dude,
the
I
line.
would.
His-
Dude, I was
everyone
just
like
about to
50
say
yards
rushing.
his dual
Crazy.
threat ability is insane.
It
He's
was
so good.
No, it was. I was really impressed.
I mean,
with how
he
Brock
gets
Purdy played.
he gets a lot of shit from a lot of sportscasters
Yeah.
because he was thrown into the scene and everyone all of a sudden said like, "Oh my god, he's the best player." This is his second year. There's no second year quarterback in the league that's even like
Yeah.
close to it. Like it's not. Brock
He's
Purdy is the
20
real deal.
he's 24
He's
years
going to be
old.
playing for a
That's crazy.
very long time, probably in San Francisco for a very, very long
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
And I mean, he got his revenge. We were talking about this last week. That's why I know a lot of people were on the 49ers. I was on the Lions. I didn't,
Wow, what a game script.
but
Yeah,
I,
that's crazy.
I mean, the tails
him
of
going
two
to the
halves,
Super
that's
Bowl
what it was.
crazy. I mean, I
That was crazy. They almost
knew
covered
the
too.
Lions would get their points. I just didn't know the San Francisco 49ers could score 34, 27 of them being the second half. I mean, are you at all worried about the 49ers, the way they start the game, if they start that against the Chiefs? Or do you think this is just the way they've been the last couple of weeks? They're going to get their minds right. This is going to be like,
I mean, they can't start like that against the Chiefs.
No.
I mean, this is exactly like the Jared Goff in the Lions that second half is the complete opposite of like how Mahomes played against the Ravens. Like manage the game, don't take any risks. Like
Yeah.
you don't need to do anything.
Make sure
Like
that
you're winning
clock
the game.
is ticking.
Like you're winning the game. Like play winning football.
Yeah.
And like the Lions did not play winning football at
Yeah.
all. Like I mean, just like going for it on 4th and 2. And I get it. Like it was a big drop. Like the dude should have easily caught it. But like just take your points. You know what I mean? So yeah, if they do that against Mahomes, I mean they're gonna lose. But
Well, Andy Reid will just.
I
piece it
don't
apart.
see the 49ers starting the way they've been starting. the
it's
past
just
2
weird
weeks.
because they've done this. We kept saying
they're not a
when
great
they
home
start
team.
back, yeah.
It's a weird environment. Like they don't. I don't feel like they have home field advantage. When
no,
they play
and
at
they
home.
start slow.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually
Really-
way too true. Yeah, their home field just
like
doesn't
they
seem-
honestly. It feels like they play better when they're like
away. And
But
just-
something about having Christian McCaffrey just makes it
I know.
so much different.
Such a great
when they
equalizer.
get the 49ers when they get inside the 5-yard line, score
Unstoppable.
100% of the time. I don't know the real stat, but I'm going to say it's 100% of the time
probably up there.
because
110.
They put points on the board.
oh my
Yeah.
god, with so many teams, I mean, I always see this where they'll get down there and they'll make a mistake, whether it's like the Zay Flowers fumble on the goal line or teams try to get cute and like throw passes, throw a pick, false start.
Yeah, it doesn't
49ers
happen.
tell you what they're going to do.
No, I remember-
They're going to put Debo in motion. They're either going to hand it
it
off
to
to Debo
McCaffrey.
or
No,
give it to
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey
Yeah.
up the middle, and
I-
they're scoring a touchdown 100%.
I remember sitting on the couch, looking at Carter. Shout out Carter. I was like, they should run this ball to Christian McCaffrey 4 straight plays in a row on the 5-yard line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they ran it to
Yeah.
him first down, second down, in.
Yeah.
2 separate times.
I mean,
in
he
the
had-
red zone. I was like, and I told him 2 separate times. I said they just Christian McCaffrey, and they should be in.
Yeah, he
And it was
had
the easiest thing in the world.
2
on
touchdowns,
that.
and then they switched. I mean, he got kind of hobbled on one play, and then it was on the 1-yard line. They put in
Give it to
Elijah
Elijah
Mitchell, and he
Mitchell.
scored a touchdown.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
yeah.
CMC would have had 3 touchdowns on the game. I mean, Mike, how did you? I mean, you obviously weren't the sharpest this week,
No.
but watching this game, did you feel like the Lions blew it, or San Fran was kind of always going to win? It was just a matter of time until they.
I hated the play calling by Dan Campbell. I thought, I mean, there are so many points left on the board.
The 4th down calls.
The 4th down calls were crazy. I mean, it's like you lose by 3 and you could have taken field goals in 2 of those
I don't know how you could be
situations. It's
mad
like-
though. That's his identity. Like
Yeah, but at a certain
that's how
point,
they won the whole year.
But
I-
that's
and you know what?
stupid when you're in the NFC Championship.
that's kind of the conclusion
Super
I came
Bowl's
to
on the
too.
line, like-
Because Tyler and I were watching it together, and I said the exact same thing. I was like, "You don't fix what ain't broke. Like this is what got you here." But Mario's absolutely right too. It's like at a certain point, you just have to see what you're actually playing in, and just make
Play winning
like
football.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. You just it's the same idea as the Chiefs. Like they don't need to like go out, and Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to put 1,000,000 points on the board. You just need to game manage and win.
Yeah.
Same idea. It's like you don't need to be Dan Campbell, the guy who makes it on every 4th down conversion and like does all this risky shit and gets paid $1 million. It's like, no, win football.
Yeah.
That's all you need to do.
Especially in the
Just
second
win.
half when they were
That's
so
it.
stagnant on offense. Like you just
No,
need points to
they-
get going.
Yeah.
They were not
Yeah.
stagnant offense. They would move the ball all the way down the field, 4th down turnover.
Well, no,
That's
that's
and
the
that's-
problem.
that is
And
stagnant.
I think a big thing to go, and I totally get what you're saying about like this is your identity, whatever. Like we were saying, the Ravens didn't stick to their identity. This is the total Dan Campbell sticking to his
Opposite,
identity, right?
yeah.
But I think it's the difference between, like we said, Lamar Jackson regular season and postseason. The Lions are winning a shitload of games this year. They were beating teams.
Mm-hmm.
So when they're going for it on the 7-yard line for 2-point conversion against Dallas and lose the game, that didn't hurt them because they're still in the playoffs, right? But they didn't win that game. So he makes these decisions. It's not like they always result in wins.
Yeah.
They just had a lot of wins as a team.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're at a point, like Mario said, in the NFC Championship game, you need to have situational awareness. And
Yeah.
be like,
Yep,
I am down
exactly.
3 points. We can get down in red zone 2 more times. That's 2 field goals. They went for it twice, didn't get it twice. Like, I'm sure San Fran plays it differently. It's not like, oh, they win no matter what if he gets it.
I can
Yeah.
get
You're down 3 with 5 minutes left. You kick a field goal. I'm sorry. You
I
just-
can
that's-
I can get behind the fact that after the first time it doesn't work, you can't do it again. You have to kick the field goal the second time because it didn't work before. Your team is down. You've lost all the momentum in the second half.
You're down 3. You tie the game.
But
With 5 minutes
Yes,
left.
you have to kick the field.
mean-
you have to kick the field goal the second time.
But Tate, the first time that happened was already in the 4th quarter. So what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
the entire third quarter,
you
they
don't
couldn't
get-
get
you
any
ha-
offense.
you have
You
to-
don't get that
but
time.
it was their first opportunity.
But you haven't
mean it was their
scored,
first
and the other
opportunity?
team's been scoring and catching up. Just play winning football. Like that's the difference. It's like you
But
can
it's-
do that
but
in the
in
regular
Dan
season because you're
Campbell's
playing
in
for the
Dan
playoffs.
Campbell's mind, the whole way he's been playing the whole year. If they get it, they win the football game.
Yeah,
it's still-
No,
there-
what I
there's a-
get it.
There's
I
a reason
get
he's
that.
never won a Super Bowl. I mean, he hasn't been a coach for very long, but what I'm saying is he's never been here. Like,
Yeah.
you need someone in your corner that has experience there going, hey, man.
kick the field.
Yeah,
I-
slapping you in
I
the
don't
face
care
and-
what you call right here. We're going to go put 3 points on the board and tie the game.
Yep.
Like, I don't care. Our team hasn't scored a touchdown in forever. The only touchdown the Lions scored in the second half, the only points they scored in the second half,
third.
Last
it
minute.
was on the last minute of the game when they were already down 10.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're right. You're right.
So,
'Cause
just
the
to
last
cover.
touchdown was,
They didn't do
Mitchell.
for whatever it was 28 minutes in the second half. They
Yeah.
scored 0 points.
0 points.
Yeah.
When you've already not scored points for an entire quarter and a half and you're in field goal range, kick a field goal.
Yeah.
You already have 31 points or whatever it is.
There was a stat that was said that on 4th and 2, the Lions this year, 4th and 2 or better, were 72%. And Badgley was the worst kicker of 40 plus or 35 plus in the league, minimum certain attempts. At like 35%.
That's fair.
So
If
like,
you're the coach, do you go for it?
no.
Okay, there was 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in the game when they turned the ball over on 4th down. After going for it. So don't
The
you
second time
the second
The
time,
se-
yes.
yeah.
the
when they
second
were
time.
down 3.
When they were down
Yes.
3, yes.
And they kicked
And the first
the
time was like
onside.
5.5 minutes.
Yeah, but don't you think like, yeah, there's 2.5 minutes. if we get this, we either get a field goal or touchdown, we win, or we tie the game no matter what. But if we
Because it's fourth down again, he might just go for it. They're already in field goal range.
Okay, but what regardless is if you don't get it, you lose the game because you're gonna leave them and if you kick the field goal, you're giving the 49ers, who's been murdering you the whole game, you give them 2.5 minutes to go down this. That team is going to run the ball down your throat until they get into field goal range.
The Lions
and win
had
the
scored
game.
0 points. There was no pressure on the 49ers. The Lions had scored 0 points in the second half.
Yeah, I agree
So the
with
Lions score the ball. They have their timeouts and kick off to the 49ers to the tie game. Make a 23-year-old quarterback make plays. Your defense
But their defense has been playing awful the whole second half.
Yeah,
you
but
can't rely on your
I'm
defense.
saying
That
your
got
offense.
absolutely
the reason
up in
the reason
second
their
half.
defense was playing so bad. I mean, it doesn't help. They 49ers got on score. Whatever, second play of the Lions drive, they fumble in the red zone.
Yeah.
They have Christian McCaffrey. They're gonna go down and score no matter what. It's 14 points in 5 minutes. The defense on the field the whole game.
Yeah.
Like,
Of course you're
the
good.
Lions did a full-on drive. Go down, finish your drive, points on the board, kick off. You have your timeouts. Brock Purdy throws an incompletion or two. You might get the ball back with
And
a
you have
chance
a
to win the
2-minute
game.
warning.
Yeah,
Like, yeah.
I mean, in no world, I think.
You have to play to your strengths, and their strength is their offense, and it's not been
But
their
they didn't
defense.
score a single
the
point.
whole
That's-
year.
yeah,
you have to-
you can't.
Scored 0 points, dude.
So
But
what
their
would-
defense allowed everything else. You
No,
can't
the
Because a short
But you
field.
can't say
you
that
fumble
the-
it inside the 30-yard line. That's not the defense allowing it.
I don't know if anyone's understanding what I'm even trying to say.
No, I get
I get what
I
you're
get what
saying.
you're
I think I
saying,
am,
but I
but-
think we're forgetting this is to go to
To
a
the
Super
Super
Bowl.
Bowl.
How many Super Bowls do the Lions have?
They've never been to a Super Bowl.
They've never been to a
the
Super Bowl. They never
Lions-
won one.
The Lions know, like 100%, if you have that team, you know if you give the ball back
No.
to the Niners with any time, they're going to score.
You don't,
You
know,
don't
that.
know that.
You don't know that.
That's
Brock Purdy's already thrown a pick before.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy has never been in this spot. People you forget he didn't play in the championship last year. Like he's never had the ball. 2 minutes left, tie game in the NFC Championship. All the pressure's on you. You
they-
have to do
but they
something, or
whooped-
you
stop one-
Whooped on them in the second half.
because
doesn't matter.
they're down by
It's
21.
one drive.
It's one of those.
drive by drive. It's not because you did good for a quarter and a half. It means you're going to be perfect in the last 2
And
minutes.
it really,
no,
and
That's
it
a good
really
point,
wasn't like
yeah.
they really whooped on. I mean, they score look like it. They had a really good first drive. They went down and scored on their first drive, right? So now instead of 24-7, it's 24-14. Lions immediately fumble on the 20-yard line. They go down, run the ball in the end zone. So now it's 21-24. Ever since that, I mean, that's 3-point game. It wasn't like they just methodically drove down. They scored bang, bang right away. And then it was back and forth a little bit. Lions turning it over on the other side of the field. I don't know.
here's-
and you have a chance to go to
here's-
overtime.
Yeah, you
Here's
got-
an easier
at the very
question.
least.
Here's an easier question. Why are you? So you said there's a 100% chance that the Niners would go down and score in your mind if they got the ball back, or maybe 80%, really good chance that they would have got a field goal even if the Lions kicked it. Yeah. But why aren't you 100% sure or very sure that the Lions weren't going to get the first down when they haven't scored a point in the entire second half? Why weren't you kick the field goal? You guys haven't scored a point or done anything. Just kick the field goal because nothing's worked. Get the points on the board. You know you're so sure on the Niners that they would have scored because they were so hot. Why are you so sure on the Lions when they were so ice fucking cold? They haven't scored a point in the second half of an NFC
good
Championship
point.
game.
Well, yeah, part of it was because they went all the way down to the 30-yard line and was a 5-minute drive, and then they didn't convert on fourth down. So there's one drive, right?
So, miss.
The 49ers so time is going off the clock. Yeah, miss. Yeah, their offense is not they're moving the ball easily.
But you can move the ball.
They're just not
They had a few
But
3 and outs
it does-
before
yeah.
the miss, though.
I think, again, I feel like you're treating this like a regular season game.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the season. This is everything. It's for a Super Bowl. Detroit's never been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All you have to do, all the Lions had to do.
The problem is hindsight's 2020. If they
That wasn't even
but if they-
hindsight. That
but
was
if they
current.
go for it,
That was
everyone's
current
like,
sight.
that was
Dan Campbell's a
during-
That was
genius.
current sight when the offense is out there. After they didn't get it the first time, current sight. Everyone in the world.
Why
what
are
the
you
hell?
doing that?
Literally every single Twitter account for NFL is
If I can think that, there's plenty of other
all of the
people that
Dan
think
Campbell
the same
things
way.
were going
I
off.
can promise
There's a
you the
reason
Chiefs
why
in
he
that
made the
situation
decision.
kick a field.
Yeah, because
He
he's
did
an
it all year.
idiot.
No, he did it all year. So the problem why he'll never
it was
get
to
the
get
Super
to the
Bowl- No, the
playoffs.
problem why he'll never get to the Super Bowl is because you do the same shit you do in the regular season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
You
what I'm
can't
saying.
No, that's a great
You can't
point.
treat
That's
the
why
NFC
Mahomes-
That's a great
Championship.
point.
in the Super Bowl.
I'm just saying. I think it's crazy. You guys can sit here and think that it is the wrong decision
100%.
It is.
when an NFL coach is doing it.
It's the wrong
it- bro,
decision.
NFL
Look at the
coaches
results of it.
make wrong decisions
All
all
the
the time.
Everyone's a
but
person.
you guys aren't NFL coaches. Like, there's a reason why he made the
I mean,
decision.
every NFL player that's
I
a
don't-
spokesperson
I'm just-
said that was
I'm
a
actually
terrible
just trying to be kind of the devil's advocate. Like, I don't necessarily think it was the perfect decision. I'm just trying to rationalize it more.
Yeah, I there is no rationale in my mind. I don't think.
See,
Besides-
that's stupid.
No,
like, you
Well,
can't. there's
besides
not,
he did it all year.
Well, no, but that's the same thing. Okay, put it this way.
That's not even.
That's
a
the
reason.
difference.
But I'm not arguing if
That's
that's
not
good or
a
bad
reason.
call.
That's the difference between a good coach and a bad coach.
But that's what I'm not arguing.
Yeah, sure. Because you can have coaches. There are terrible coaches in the NFL, like really, really bad coaches, and they get fired and they run through really quick. Dan Campbell's in his third year of coaching? Third year of coaching.
Third year,
There's a reason this Lions team has never been in the Super Bowl, and this perfectly personifies it. Making a wrong decision and then making the same wrong decision again,
Yeah.
and then rationalizing it with it had worked in the past in regular season games. Say it had worked for him in the past. That is like the most flawed logic of all time. That you,
It also
you can't
lost
do
them
that.
games, too,
Yeah,
in the
you
regular
cannot do
so
that.
it's worked for me before. Why wouldn't it work again? I don't know why.
But
that's
it's
so
also
flawed.
lost for me before.
It's the same thing as like the
And-
hot hand fallacy. Like, oh, he made 3 in a row. He's probably going to make this one. He should
Yeah.
keep shooting it. Like, it's
But,
the
like,
same.
All the momentum was with the 49ers. If you give, you have
And you
to
could
get
stop that with the
momentum.
field
Yeah.
goal.
Points.
stop it
Putting
with the field
points
goal.
on.
back.
If they have all the momentum, it's like, oh damn, the Lions just tied it. Now we have to
Yeah,
go
now
get
it's
points.
on us to go
Bullshit,
score.
bro.
And we
Brady-
can't, and they can't turn it back over to the Lions because they just scored. Now we give the Lions a
Yeah,
chance to
that
score on
stops
us.
the momentum by scoring.
No,
Putting pressure on the
I
other
mean,
team.
the funny
How-
thing is, you
like,
guys, is that I 100% see what you're saying. I can see the other side. The problem is you guys don't at all understand what I'm saying.
because
Or
there's
even-
no logical.
Because I
You're
haven't
right.
really
you're
even
right.
heard
No, there's
people.
not a single logical reason why he would ever do it. He's the worst coach in the world. Wrong decision.
Correct.
Move on. Yep, correct.
Correct.
That's a correct decision.
Correct.
Yes. There's only one
He's an idiot.
option. There's one decision.
Dan Campbell will never
That's
be
it.
back in this spot for
You're right.
exactly that reason.
You're
Did you hear what he
100%
told his
right.
team after the game?
Oh
You
yeah,
hear
he
what he
was
said?
like, I don't think we're gonna.
He
or
goes,
this
you know
is
how
the
much
last
harder it's
shot."
going to be to get back here?
Yeah.
Like, this might
Yeah.
be the farthest you guys ever get.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
I don't know if Andy Reid or Bill Belichick have been
Would
telling their
ever
teams
say
that.
that.
This guy, he's an emotional coach. He's great. It was a cool
It
story.
was an emotional decision.
And they had, yeah, exactly. He makes emotional decisions. That's not what long-term winning coachs do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's an
unless
ego.
It's
unless-
also why
decision.
pretty much no like former NFL player was like, oh, I like that decision.
I mean,
No.
Literally every single
It was-
former NFL player or like people that like talk sports, like literally every single person was
and
like,
the announcers and like Lions
literally
fans on
everyone
Twitter,
was like,
everyone in the
you
world
just
is like
take points.
It's all I saw was the Dan Campbell hits on an 18 jokes or like 17
No, that's
jokes for
just
blackjacks.
all it was,
Like
yeah.
ridiculous.
Hindsight's
Everyone
20/20.
as it's going. Oh, that was before the call. That was like as they're walking
Right
on the
now
field.
we're talking about it, and yeah, you're like, okay, hindsight's 20/20.
I mean, isn't that what we're
But-
supposed to do?
but-
Talk
but
about
Make
it
whatever
right now.
decision you want.
No,
it's a recap.
But if
I mean,
he
it's
got
a
the first
recap. That's
down,
how-
it still could be the wrong call. Like even if they
I
won
would
the
have
game,
said that was a
But
wild
I,
call.
Yeah.
but I never have been arguing that it was the right call. I'm trying to rationalize his position.
No, the
There
rational-
is-
we
You
know
guys think
why
that
he
there
did
is
it.
Zero.
That's like
no
rationalizing
reason
running
why.
out in the middle of the street butt naked and laying on
Yeah,
your
you're
track.
right. It's the same.
Like
thing.
that guy
It's the
had to
exact
be
same
thinking
thing.
something at the
No,
time.
I mean,
It's like, no, he's an idiot.
It is.
No,
It's rationalizing stupidity.
Yeah.
Like it.
No, the logic
is
behind it
kind
is that he
of what
did it so much. I can understand that he did it throughout the year.
No,
It's
I know
still
why
wrong.
he did it.
Yeah, I know
I'm
why
saying
he
it's
did
just
it.
a terrible decision.
Yeah, all right. I feel like we've talked enough
Yeah.
about this. Super Bowl matchup set. 49ers,
Oh, I
Chiefs.
love it.
Big game. There was
all
a little more action that happened in the NFL this week, some coaching hires and movements. I want to hear what you guys think about. So let's talk about that right now. We got a little carried away on that last segment. Dan Campbell over here.
It's a lot near.
I feel like
Shout out Dan Campbell.
Yeah, shout out Dan Campbell. I feel like Dan
Friend of the
Campbell
pod. Thank you for the
sent
money.
Tate like a letter,
Yeah.
like, "Hey, like defend my ass." Like he needs some people.
Defend
in
my
the media.
honor.
He
Come
needs
on.
I mean,
some people.
I
in
hit
the
on
media.
18. What are you talking about?
I know you hit on.
No,
18.
I mean respect the play.
Yeah,
I love Dan.
there's a couple threes in that deck. No, but a couple things happened in the NFL I want to touch on quick before we wrap it up. Obviously, this weekend we don't have games, so we're not
Ugh.
making picks. It's the
That's
Pro
sad.
Bowl, or it's not even the Pro Bowl
Yeah.
anymore. It's like the
Flag
Pro Bowl
football.
game.
Flag
It's like
football,
flag
yeah.
Like
football.
the
and-
charity bowl.
Yeah, it's the most unwatchable event ever. But I mean, next week's episode we get to talk Super Bowl, which
my
is
God.
electric.
Which would be
And then
lit.
after that, we
my
start
gosh.
talking NFL draft. We got a lot to so there's a lot of content out there. But a couple things happened the last few weeks that we hadn't been hitting on because we were in the middle of football season. Now that it's a lull week, we can kind of touch on it. Just quickly, I want to know your guys' thoughts. First thing, John Harbaugh, new Chargers head coach.
Thank
Yeah.
the Lord.
I mean, that's pretty.
Wait, Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh. Sorry, what
Yeah,
did I
I was
say?
like, John.
No, I was.
Jim.
The Ravens were still in my mind. Jim Harbaugh. he's now the coach. He moved on from Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, first
What a
off,
way to go out.
retiring one of the legends of college football coaching.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like the best possible way to bring a championship to Michigan.
And
Then leave with the Chargers that are arguably in one of the best positions of teams that need new head coaches.
Yeah.
I mean, the talent that they have on that roster. I mean,
They got a roster set, ready to go.
they have a top
Yeah.
quarterback. What are your guys' expectations for him? Not only first season, but going forward. I know Chargers have quite a bit of, I guess, not problems with the cap space, but I mean, their $80 million is owed to Mike Williams and Keenan Allen.
Yeah.
That we're assuming we'll need to offload. They just wasted a first-round draft pick on Quentin Johnson.
Oh my God.
Undoubtedly,
Greatest pick.
there couldn't be more pressure on a new coaching position this year than the Chargers.
Well, we say that, but they're also trying to fill that GM spot.
No,
And-
I was gonna say I think the GM is in one of the most important jobs in football for the Chargers. They need to
yeah,
make big
it's
moves.
going to be a lot
They
more
need to move
pressure on
around
them
somebody.
than
So,
Jim.
do you think Jim Harbaugh is going to have a say in who that GM is? Do you think he's going to be able to bring his guys? I know when they went and got Urban Meyer for Jacksonville, they let him bring his crew in. Obviously, that was a failure.
How did that
I don't.
go?
No, failures on the
it's
year.
not going to be
But I'm
his
saying,
crew,
but I'm saying
but-
often you see when they bring in these really big name coaches, not just like an OC from someone somewhere else. Like
They're both
Jim
solid.
Harbaugh's, he's coached in the league. I mean, the guy he's had success. He's been to a Super Bowl.
Been to a Super Bowl.
I mean,
Yeah.
so he has his guys
Lost
in
his
the
brother.
league. Like you all have
Yep.
your guys. I wonder, do you think they're going to let him bring some of his guys into the Chargers, make some decisions, or do you think they'll kind of just let like hire a GM that the owner likes and just kind of like go by the book on that?
I think it'll be somewhere in between. Like, I don't necessarily think they'll just be like, all right, Jim, bring in your own guys, like bring in your own
I kind of
buddies.
feel like they do.
But
I think they
also,
let him run the
Yeah.
show.
It's the
I mean,
Chargers.
that'd be
could-
wild.
yeah,
I
they
also,
have-
Very
Championship?
terrible organization.
I mean, they
I
let
see it
Brandon
much more as
Staley.
like,
they let Brandon
Take the
Staley
keys to
run
LA.
wild on that team, just
And-
absolutely shitting on
do you
anything.
think they haven't learned the lesson?
No, but they had the wrong person in charge.
Yeah.
You got to have the right person steering the ship. Like when Belichick, they were letting Belichick call the shots in New England. I'm not obviously comparing those two coaches together because we'll talk about Belichick retiring in a
pretty good
second.
comparison.
But no, but like when you have these high-profile hires, I mean, one of the most successful coaches on the market by far.
Yeah.
I feel like they're gonna let him call the shots, and I think it'll be cool to watch him play with Herbert because he's been in some tough spots the last couple.
This is like
Yeah, he's been
this is
rough.
like you have a Labrador Retriever who you're going on a walk with. You let him off leash because you're like, oh yeah, this guy's fine, whatever. Ends up biting the leg off a 4-year-old, and then of course you put that dog down, and then you get
what
a
is
goal-
that similar?
and then you
what-
get. So that's their old coach, and then you get a golden retriever, and that's like Jim, and then you're like, well, I'm probably not gonna let him.
Didn't we just have it? We had a lab. What did we have before?
The lab died.
Lab
Yeah, the
died.
lab died. Now we're at
Oh,
golden
golden
retriever.
retriever.
Okay.
And so it's like, well, we're not going to let you walk completely off leash. We're probably going to put
Because
a
you're
leash
gonna
on
bite
you.
another 4-year-old.
Well, no, but we're probably like a little bit
that's the same
scared.
dog.
No, it's not. It's a different dog,
Why do
but
you
we're
think
probably
about
going
biting
to be
children?
scared from the last
This is-
experience.
this
So
is
you're
not
kind of
good.
like, all right,
Why,
let's.
why did you bring the kids?
He's from Michigan, not Penn State.
Why are you striking us up?
No, I'm just saying.
I
Like
mean-
they're going to learn the
It's close
lesson
to a
and kind
strike.
of
It's
give
not
them
a
a
full
little bit
strike.
more
like
Half
love.
a
strike.
brown lab or a black lab or
It's golden retriever.
Golden retriever.
Golden retriever.
Golden
Yeah.
retriever.
All right. Enough about that.
Jeez.
I feel like that was a good analysis or good.
A good analysis.
I
Early
just-
season
good
all right,
thingy.
quick
Oh,
projections.
yeah.
We know nothing about what the Chargers are going to do. Jim Harbaugh in that division right now with the AFC. Do the Chargers make the playoffs next year?
No.
Just go around real
No.
quick.
yeah.
Yes.
6 wins.
I say no shot. Terrible.
No shot, no chance.
Yeah, no shot.
Let's
So,
go. I love
so you're the
fact
only
that
one
I'm
on the
only
Chargers.
one.
You're riding.
No way.
You're
Clip
riding
that.
Jim.
Clip
You
that.
need
Clip
a
that.
building
You're riding
there.
Jim.
FSU.
We just mentioned
7
it.
wins. 7 wins.
No, I mean,
Actually,
we'll
a little shot.
We'll do the
7
over under
wins.
win total. That's
7
that's
wins.
down the line.
Yeah.
Next thing we kind of touched on it. Belichick retired. We didn't talk about that
Bye,
since it
Bill.
happened. I mean, what a career!
Goat.
Just the GOAT. He's the best there ever
Yep.
was. Do you think he ever returns to the NFL, or is he just done? Because I know Saban and him are best friends. They both kind of went out at the same time within like a week of each other. Do you think he
That'd
ever
be
comes back?
crazy.
100% I think he comes back.
They come back together.
As a head coach or like in
together. I had no idea about Nick Saban.
head coach or
No.
like front office?
Something on the field.
Oh,
I think 100% he's
Like
going
a
to go to
DC?
a team.
He's not gonna be a defensive coordinator. Imagine Belichick's is like your linebackers coach.
But no, definitely, I think he's gonna like even if he goes to like Falcons or something, which he's been in talks with. I don't know. There's something about like
Well, they already hired.
Well, it's one of those things. It's a mindset. Like when you're in it, you can't get out of it. Like you live for it. It's
like
and then
gambling.
you go home. It's like Tom Brady. Like he goes home. And
I
he's
got
like,
real excited.
Yeah,
when I was
Brady's
like,
like, yeah, this
I know
sucks.
exactly what you're talking about.
online blackjack after
Oh
this?
yeah,
All right.
I'm playing it under the table right now.
Tune in Degen stream later.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll get the Twitch going.
We're gonna get. That's gonna be a thing. But I know. Do you think he comes back?
Yeah, I think he still has something left in the tank. I'm just not sure where he would go. I saw a funny theory though that said that he could go to Michigan, and then Tom Brady, because he's retired for a year and only played 3 years in college, does retain a year of eligibility, goes back, and it's Belichick and Brady at Michigan.
That'd be freaking lit.
I mean, imagine if Tom Brady played a year of college football.
I mean, that's got to be the click.
They would. Could you imagine? They would just every transfer on earth.
Literally.
Michigan would have the most loaded transfer portal.
I mean, Michigan would have to win every game.
No, literally, they would.
They would win every
They
game.
would. Yeah.
They would
It would-
every
it would
game.
be-
Tom Brady playing college football? Are you kidding me?
Dice them up.
Who's the best quarterback left in college right now? It's not Will Howard. Like Quinn?
No.
Quinn?
No.
Yeah, you know, no.
Garrett Nussmeier coming in.
Yeah.
Jalen Milrow?
I mean, it's just got to be Tom Brady. I'm taking Tom. I ride with Tom.
He's the best quarterback left in college football
Yeah,
right
Way
now.
too early Heisman.
No, we quickly touched on the
Tell me
Falcons.
the odds on that.
We touched on the Falcons. The Steelers made a big hire this week.
Huge.
I
Arthur
hate it with a
Smith.
passion.
I hate it with two passions.
But he was a good offensive coordinator in his past life. Arthur Smith.
Not in the Falcons.
No, I was saying he was the head coach.
coach.
Arthur Smith is the head coach of the Falcons. Miserable, obviously, the last couple of years. When he was the OC with
Shout out Jameis.
when he was the OC with the Titans, he was actually pretty good as an offensive
Oh,
coordinator
Derrick Henry, right?
on the Titans.
Yeah. Yeah.
AFC Championship.
No, like
Yeah.
during that time.
I mean,
I don't know how much that's Arthur Smith or just like
Nah, no,
hand the
that's
ball
all.
off 32 times.
No,
like,
That's all AS.
Hey, we're-
this
That's
this
all
section is
AS.
more
He
for
didn't
me
do
and
that
Ryan.
Bijan.
I kind of told you how I feel. I hate it. We interviewed Cliff Kingsbury. We interviewed a couple offensive-minded people. I think we should have gone with a young Sean McVay-esque type of hire.
Cliff would have been interesting.
Yeah, and then draft a quarterback in the first round, whether that's like Michael Penix, Bo Nix, whoever.
Jane Daniels with Cliff.
I don't
Kingsbury.
think he'll be
Cliff
there.
doing?
Well, he's just hanging out.
He's got a supermodel girlfriend.
Yeah, he got a,
there.
he got like $100 million from the Cardinals.
yeah,
Like,
and he's
dude's
just bought a
set.
mansion.
Good for
Yeah.
him.
But
Good for
so
him.
I hate the hire. I think it's just more Steelers. Like we've seen such mediocrity from the Steelers. Not mediocrity for other teams, but mediocrity for us.
No, I mean,
That we
it's-
needed to make a change.
It's impressive how the Steelers keep like hiring these people on offense who are like the most defensive-minded offensive coordinators I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean-
like, they play defense on offense.
That's a lot.
Arthur Smith is gonna use the shit out of Allen Robinson as like our wide
for
receiver
sure.
for.
Yeah, he might as
like
well.
he'll look at Deontay and Pickens and Najee and Jalen Warren and just be like,
You're right.
Allen Robinson's
Calvin
getting 12.
Austin the
Yeah,
third.
Yeah,
Allen
Calvin
Robinson.
Austin.
Yeah, they're getting 9
jet
targets a
sweep
game.
for -9.
Yeah, it's
No,
ridiculous.
I actually don't. I'm not gonna lie. I don't think anything matters in the Steelers organization. Hires who they have, offensive coordinator. I don't prefer this. Nothing matters besides drafting a quarterback in the first round. Nothing.
Yeah,
That's
I
number
mean,
one
you
priority.
definitely
I
need
could
that.
have whoever.
I
you
don't want to
team.
spoil our NFL pre-draft episode, but right now, if you can pick any quarterback that'll realistically be there for us in the late teens for a draft pick, who are you picking?
Late teens.
I mean, that's where we're picking.
I might be reaching because it's either like top 10 or like
Who?
outside the top 20. But like, yeah,
Just
what-
give me your quarterback. Who do you want?
I like Bo Nix. I think he's
There's-
massive. He's got a cannon. I just think he's not going to go that late. But I don't like Penix. I don't think Penix can dissect NFL defenses.
Oh.
But I don't think Bo Nix is that much
I
better.
agree.
But
All right. I don't want to get too much into it. I just want to hear it. I just
What
wanna-
do
Would you rather
what
have?
do you think? I just don't think Bo
Daniels?
Nix will go
revisit
that
that
far.
conversation
I'm saying we don't.
Jane Daniels might be the number
He said
2
the
overall
teams.
pick.
Yeah.
He said the teams.
Jane Daniels not gonna be there outside the top 5.
If Jane Daniels was there,
I don't think Bo
Bo
Nix will be there. Like
Outside the top 5.
No, outside the top 10.
I will bet
If
you right now
going-
that Bo Nix is outside the top 10 draft picks, $100.
Can
Top
I?
15.
Can
I'll give you
I?
top 15.
Can
I'll
I?
give you top 20.
Wow.
Wait, top 20?
$100, yeah.
Top 20.
Ooh.
Ooh, that's spicy.
I think you lose that one.
I think you lose that one too.
Yeah, I think we might draft him.
At 24.
Our pick is not 24.
No, we're not drafting Bo Nix.
What's the Steelers draft pick? Hold on.
16.
Is that correct?
I don't know.
Mike just
Why is he
throws
just
out
yell-
numbers.
Steelers have the
confidently.
20th.
Give me it, baby!
So,
wow,
so
that's
if we
an
pick him
actual-
at,
If it's
so if
on
we pick him
20.
at 20, Mike wins.
Yeah.
She said
You
outside.
can have it.
All right, but you'll be happy to lose that bet.
So
Yeah.
20 and a half.
Wait, what is
That's
what is Bo Nix going on? What is Bo Nix going on in this thing?
Well, there's been projections
I
of
need the real
him.
projections.
There's been projections of him in the teens. There's also been projections of him outside the first round.
Oh my god, I'm rich.
Yeah, so
This has nothing to do with, or a little bit to do. I just want to throw this out.
We're gonna talk
Yeah,
draft.
I mean,
Hey,
Time out.
Dude, way too early.
Strike.
bleep that out.
Strike.
Bleep
Yeah,
that out.
yeah.
That's a strike. Bleep it out.
I'm
Kill
just
him.
I
so.
want
No.
Mike, I want it to be completely blurred.
Let's
I don't
stab
wanna hear a
Mario.
single word.
Blur. You didn't hear a word of that.
Bleep the entire
We're saving
conversation.
all of our draft takes for our NFL draft episode after the Super Bowl. Mario just got a strike for just being an idiot right there and leaking
Stupid.
some.
I have to. I mean,
hot
I'm just
takes.
so excited.
Bo Nix is ranked 22.
I'm sharp. I'm him.
Wow, you almost had. You good?
I'm him.
Can you cough some up?
Yeah. What?
All right,
what's
no,
up?
it's all right. And last thing I want to touch on, not really much of a discussion, but a well-deserved thing that we've been saying should happen forever, like mid-season. They should have done this. Antonio Pierce finally hired
Oh, yeah.
as the
Well
Raiders
deserved.
head coach.
He's a Raider.
He deserved
Congrats,
it.
true Raider.
They need a
from
quarterback.
Compton. Grew up a Raiders fan.
They got some weapons. They need a
Dude,
quarterback.
and he got that team moving. I think the Raiders, if they can make a couple offseason moves, keep Devontae Adams, like
They also
they
need
take
a
Jacobs
quarterback.
back.
They're a wild
that
card
division's
team.
gonna be pretty good. That division's gonna be pretty good.
Crazy
AFC
good, yeah.
AFC is building some juggernauts.
They already have. the
Yeah,
juggernaut.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true.
and the young and the
Ridiculous.
teams that aren't really in it,
They have
they
everything.
can make some moves. So, I mean, it'll be an exciting season next year.
Yeah, AFC's loaded, dude.
It's so loaded.
And
crazy.
they're the greatest player of all time.
But next week,
Greatest player of all time.
nothing this week.
Burrow was out.
Nah,
entire season.
enough.
Trevor Lawrence was out.
Trevor
Oh no, he
Lawrence.
played. But
Well,
He went.
no, okay. If we want to talk Trevor Lawrence, we can talk Trevor Lawrence.
I'll take a strike.
You can't say Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence in the same conversation.
No,
No, you can
Yeah,
say
get-
T. Higgins.
No, if
Gets him riled up on my left and my
If you
right.
say if
You
you say
can have the conversation.
if you say Joe Burrow and Trevor Lawrence in the same conversation, that just drags on the episode for an extra 40 minutes.
Yes. We'll be
Mario
here
and
for
I
an
could
hour.
be here forever.
It's just us two.
Yeah, everyone else.
Everyone's
leaves.
weird
We
now.
can
The
just-
lights are off. We just have that on.
We'll do the
We
D-Gen
deserve to win that
one-on-one.
championship.
Yeah, literally.
D-Gen one-on-one. You guys consider opposite ends of the table,
Ooh.
just like
That's like the best idea I've ever heard.
Why haven't you brought
We
this
should
up in
just
the
do
meeting?
those.
No.
Save it for the meeting.
One-on-one
All right.
debates.
Save
I'll
for
bring
the
it up in
meeting.
the meeting.
Yeah,
I'll bring it up. I'll bring it up.
But no,
new
that's-
segments coming soon.
New segments
Bang!
coming
New
soon.
segment.
Like I said, new types of content coming soon. We're in a new studio. It's freaking awesome. I
Summertime,
love it.
baby. It's
You're
coming.
gonna see a lot of changes around here. This was our first season. We have one game left, so we're not gonna conclude it, wrap it up yet. Let's not get all teary-eyed and sob stories.
That's
We got
for
business
next
to-
week.
We got business to do. No, that's for after next week. We got
Be
picks to
really
make.
off.
Big game.
No. Time is hard.
All right. Well, that's the
It is
episode.
what it
Tate,
is.
I mean,
No, wait, what?
Mike was really on a roll this episode.
Wait, no.
A
Let's
lot-
keep it going.
A lot of good stuff he added this episode. Thanks for watching. Tate, before people log off, tell the people what they need to do.
I'm a little thrown off right now.
Throw on.
Yeah, like, comment, subscribe, share this channel with a friend because we're giving out money all the time. There's gonna be new content coming in.
It's true.
We'll see you guys next week.
Big
Let's go,
bang,
baby.
boom.
Patrick Mahomes is the GOAT.
DJ hours. 3, 2, 1.
I've actually seen like toddlers clap.
Quit.
That was the most weak. Just
3,
definitely voted for
2,
Biden.
1.
The way you shook when you did that.
God. 3, 2, 1.
All right, well, I wasn't ready.
3, 2, 1.
Someone else clap.